Present.
Councilmember Jesus Roldan. Councilmember Luis Galindo.
Present.
Councilmember Miguel Villalpando. Councilmember Juan Castillo.
Present.
Councilmember Marta Gonzalez.
Present.
Vice Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Continue on to call to the public.
Philip Clark.
Members of the council, Philip Clark, 4296 West County 15th Street, Somerton. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My sister and I are here this evening relative to agenda item 9.1. First of all, we are very supportive of the process that's underway and taking place. Purpose of our visit here this evening is hopefully to at least speed up the process as it relates to our properties. Again, we're very much in support, but rather than extend the time out even further, we would like to be able to start the process for our properties as soon as we possibly can. I handed a letter that I had sent to Mr. Albor. Mr. Albor has been very helpful to us in this process, and we appreciate that and want to thank him. And the clerk gave you a copy of the letter that we gave to him. And I can't stress enough, yes, we want to be annexed into the city of Somerton, but to my sister and I, it's important that we keep good relations with our neighbors. And that's why we would like to come in on our own voluntarily, rather than being caught up in the statutory process of annexation of having to have 50% of the assessed value and 50% plus one of the number of property owners. Because in that situation, on occasion, some folks could possibly be brought in, as they say, kicking and screaming. And we don't want to cause our neighbors to be kicking and screaming. So again, that's why we're here. We're supportive. However, we would like to go ahead and start the annexation process as soon as possible. And we would certainly, on the remaining neighborhood that we have, in the small conclave where we live, there are 7 property owners. It's an old pecan grove. And so if my sister and I are allowed to start the process and come in now, that would leave 5 remaining property owners. And we would be more than willing to help in the process and hopefully encourage our neighbors to be in the affirmative as well. And I understand the open meeting law. I understand that you can't be responding to me, but perhaps later on when we get to the actual agenda item, if there's anything else additional that may come up that I might respond to, I would appreciate that opportunity as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's what I was going to say. If you wanted to wait until the 9.1 section of our agenda, then maybe we can, if council has any questions, and we, if you could please stay for that. Anybody else, Andrea? Thank you. Let's move on to 5.1.
Vice Mayor, this
Yes.
is Councilman Villalpando. I joined the meeting a couple minutes late, but I'm here.
Thank you, Mia. We're going to continue with proclamations. 5.1 Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Whereas domestic violence is a serious crime that affects millions of individuals regardless of age, gender, economic status, race, religion, nationality, or educational background. And whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity through the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic abuse. And whereas nearly 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men in the United States have suffered severe physical violence at the hands of an intimate partner, and many other endure ongoing abuse in silence. And whereas children who grow up in violent homes are often deeply affected, experiencing trauma and emotional scars that can last a lifetime, and may themselves become victims or perpetrators of violence in adulthood. And whereas local programs and national organizations work tirelessly to support survivors, provide education, promote prevention, and advocate for laws that promote victims and hold abusers accountable. And whereas raising awareness and educating communities about domestic violence is crucial to breaking the cycle of abuse and helping victims find the support they need to rebuild their lives. And whereas the City of Somerton recognizes the importance of supporting survivors of domestic violence, increasing public awareness, and ensuring that our community is committed to ending domestic violence. And whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an important opportunity to enhance education, prevention, and intervention efforts around domestic violence and support organizations and individuals who provide advocacy efforts, services, and assistance to victims. Now, therefore, I, Gerardo Anaya, Mayor of the City of Somerton, do hereby proclaim the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Somerton and urge all citizens to participate in efforts to raise awareness, prevent abuse, and support those impacted by domestic violence.
Thank you, Andrea. We're going to present this proclamation award or friend. Do we have individuals here for?
Yes, both. If you want to, all of us come down. I did.
Vice Mayor, we have Gabriella Sanchez from Safe House Catholic Community Services. And Tori Bourguignon from Amberley's Place. It's always tough to pronounce your name, Corey.
Can I have 2 steps to the right, please? 2 steps. Right there. Ready, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Oh, thank you. Sure, yeah. I'm gonna need everyone to just squeeze. Okay, I'm gonna take 2 pictures. Ready, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and then another phone. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Huh? Oh, yeah. One. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Here's your.
Vice Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
they'd like to make some announcements.
As you guys know, I'm Gabriella Sanchez with Safe House with Catholic Community Services. We provide a lot of advocacy all the way to San Luis, to Walton, to Krishan. But Somerton is my home. This is where, as you know, 2019, I started this, and we're going strong because domestic violence it affects everyone. You know of somebody, but we just don't talk about it. It's a taboo In my family, we didn't talk about it. You stayed married until that's it. So in memory of Clarissa and Letty, I do this. I promised the family that wherever I went, if it's something domestic violence or anything, I would talk about them. They did everything they were supposed to, and it happened. But I wanted to share with you on October 29, we're gonna have a walk at Bushmasters. It's gonna be from 6 to 8 p.m. And we're gonna have a lot of agencies providing services. So if there's a victim or someone that knows, there are gonna be resources there in the community. And we're gonna honor the people that have passed away. So we have from Yuma to here to wherever, but we're gonna honor those. And I hope everyone attends. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to continue with 5.2 Breast Cancer Awareness Month Proclamation.
Whereas breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among women in the United States and a leading cause of cancer death among women. And whereas October is recognized as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, dedicated to increasing awareness, education, and support for those affected by breast cancer. And whereas early detection through regular mammograms, self-examinations, and improved treatments can significantly improve the chances of survival and recovery. And whereas countless organizations, medical professionals, and advocates are working tirelessly to improve treatment options, support research for a cure, and provide education on breast cancer prevention and early detection. And whereas the City of Somerton stands united with individuals, families, and communities that have been impacted by breast cancer, and we recognize the strength and courage of survivors, as well as the need for continued research to find a cure. Whereas we encourage all citizens to wear pink during the month of October to honor breast cancer survivors, support those currently battling the disease, and remember those we have lost to this terrible illness. Now, therefore, I, Gerardo Anaya, Mayor of the City of Somerton, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Somerton and encourage everyone to participate in activities that raise awareness, promote early detection, and support ongoing research and education efforts.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm going to have the first responders come and accept this, and we're going to have council come.
Yeah, on this one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
We're going to continue on with the consent agenda. Is there any item that members of council would like to remove or discuss?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And for 6.4, I know it's kind of tied with 8.3. Should we wait till 8.3 or it wouldn't matter?
Vice Mayor, if I may,
Please.
consent agenda, if you would like to discuss any of that matter, it would be to pull it.
Pull it.
Yes.
But that's my question. I mean,
We can pull it if you like.
It's up to if
The
you'd
council.
like. Yes.
Do you want to pull it? And then we can come back and approve or deny it. It's up to you.
okay, I say we can pull it and then approve it after we do 8.3.
I have a recommendation to pull 6.4, which is approval of the Arizona Special Event Liquor License Application for the Somerton Corn Fest submitted by the City of Somerton on behalf of the Somerton Education, Inc. for November 8th, 2025, to be held at the intersection of Main Street and State Avenue. Anybody else would like to pull anything else or have anything to discuss before we move on for motion? There is none. I need a motion for the approval of the consent agenda except for 6.4.
So moved, Vice Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Galindo,
Second.
second by Councilman Castillo. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Right.
Anybody opposes? Motion carries. Moving on to old business, 7.1, discussion and possible action to approve second reading by title only of ordinance number 2025-004.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and council members. Before you is the second reading of title only for a city ordinance amendment. That's gonna be this one. 2.1. This is the wrong one. Yeah, this is the wrong one.
That's the wrong.
That's October. Scroll down, Chief.
Can you refresh the page?
I could,
Chief? And that, yep, right there. Scroll down. Okay.
So the item came before the council in the last council meeting. So this is the second reading. There is no changes other than we're hoping that we can get an approval. This is discussion and possible action to approve the second reading by title only of ordinance 2025-004.
So move, Mayor. I mean, Vice Mayor.
A motion was made by Councilman Villalpando, second by Councilwoman Gonzalez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to new business, 8.1.
Chief, you will have to read the first reading
Sorry.
of the ordinance.
The second
The
reading.
second reading.
Not a problem. I thought we were skipping a step, but I didn't see anyone object. So an ordinance of the City of Somerton, Arizona, amending Chapter 6, Animal of the City Code by amending Article 6-1, Rules and Regulations, Section 611, Dangerous Animals, and Section 614, Swine, Livestock, Poultry, Fowl, and Bees, and Article 6.2, Dogs and Other Animals, Section 621, Definition 622, License Required, Issuance of Dog Tags, Section 623, Anti-Rabies Vaccination Required, Section 624, Rabies Control and Quarantine, Reporting Incidents of Biting, Handling of Biting Animals, Section 625, Restrictions as to dog running at large, Section 626, Impoundment Time, Notice, and Cost regarding dogs running at large, and by renaming and amending Sections 627, Unlawful Interference with Animal Control Officer, Section 629, Appointment of Animal Control Officer, and by adding a Section 6-10, Unlawful Feeding of Dogs or Cats, and adding a new Article 6.3, Penalty, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for penalties. Thank you. We'll need another motion.
Yeah, we need a motion to approve the ordinance number 2025 since the motion for the reading of the title only was already approved. So I need a motion to approve the ordinance.
So move.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Gonzalez, second by Councilman Villalpando. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposes? Motion carries.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Chief. Now moving on to new business, 8.1, discussion and possible action to approve the award of a request for qualifications RFQ for beer sales at special events during 2026 fiscal year.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Council. James Jones, Parks and Rec Director. The item before you is a discussion possible action to award the request for qualifications for beer sales at special events during the fiscal year 2026. The request for statement qualifications was released on August 13th and officially closed on September 5th. One submittal was received by Somerton Rotary. I do want to point out that the RFP was completed and legal approved. Unfortunately, it says 3 years, but at the meeting on August 6th, I believe you directed us to only give it out for the year. So that's why I'm asking, and I want to make that clarification that we did talk to the groups that we reached out to and told them it would be for a year. So everyone's on the same page. I do want to state that staff did reach out to several local qualified organizations, including nonprofits, school booster clubs, and encouraged them to apply. We also offered assistance to meet with them and go over the RFP as requested last year. Upon review in the submittal, staff determined that Somerton Rotary Club provided all the required documentation and is in full compliance with the RFQ in the City of Somerton requirements. Attached is their statement of qualifications and the Somerton Rotary submittal for your review. Staff respectfully request approval for Somerton Rotary Club to provide beer sales for the fiscal year 2026 for special events, including UTV, Off-Road Festival, Greater Days Festival, and 4th of July celebration. And like I do want to point out that this is only for this fiscal year.
Vice Mayor, if I may.
Please.
So it's for this 25-26 then, correct, James?
Correct.
Okay, because 26 would just be strictly for 2026. So it's encompassing partial years for 25 and 26.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve if there's no further questions. Vice Mayor.
I have a comment. So
Okay.
if it's for fiscal year 25-26, the 4th of July does not fall into that. The fiscal year ends June 30.
Vice Mayor, and you are correct. But because the 4th of July falls 4 days away from our fiscal year, it's still in the 26th, and to be able to get it approved, the process, we feel it'd be easier to include, and we have in the past included 4th of July. So you are correct. The fiscal year 26 does end June 30th. So we would add July 4th as a additional event outside our fiscal year.
Okay. So Councilman Villalpando made a motion. Any other
Yes.
comments or concerns? Okay, I need a second.
Second, Vice Mayor.
Second by Councilman Galindo. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, James. 8.2, discussion and possible action to approve the Arizona Special Event Liquor License application for the UTV Off-Road Festival submitted on behalf of the Somerton Rotary Club on October 18th, 2025 to be held on Main Street.
Vice Mayor and Council. So this is just a follow-up from the previous one. It's just to approve the license for next weekend. They have submitted everything they needed, the certificate of insurance, everything that they need. So this is just a follow-up to make sure that they can do the event next week.
Okay. Thank you. I need a motion.
So move, Vice Mayor.
Motion was made by Councilman Galindo,
Second.
second by Councilman Castillo. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposes? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. 8.3, discussion and possible action to approve the agreement between the City of Somerton and the Somerton Education, Inc. for the annual Corn Festival event, which will be held for this year on November 8th, 2025.
Vice Mayor, and Council, this was a direction we had from Council to bring this to you. We have put an agreement together that was outlined in the meeting, and so we presented to you today on the agreement between the City of Somerton and the Somerton Education, Inc. Regarding the Corn Fest event and how we would how this agreement would be this year different from other years. So we bring this back to you for direction and possible approval.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments on 8.3?
I have a question, Vice Mayor.
Go ahead.
Louis, looking at this agreement, have we entered in similar agreements like this in the past?
Councilman Castillo, council approved this agreement back in October 1st of 2019. Since then, we have not.
Okay. And does this organization meet all the requirements as stated in our policy?
Currently, they do not.
So I guess a question that I would have for legal would be, by us entering into this agreement, what liabilities for us as a city would we have?
Mayor and Council, that's a great question. I think there are some things we'd like to see the nonprofit do to ensure all the compliance with their legal requirements. But right now, they are still an existing nonprofit. My understanding is that they will take out proper insurance for the event, which would protect the city if there was an accident or injury. So when they're working, there would be sufficient coverage. I would encourage staff to make sure, if you approve this, that we get a copy of that certificate of insurance. We're named as additional insured. Is there some liability? Yes. Can it be minimized if we are comfortable, with their operations and with the particular insurance? Yes. So this is really a policy decision for the council. You're certainly entering into more of a close relationship with them. So you do want to make sure you're comfortable with the people running the operation, and make sure you have the right insurance, because there is some risk for the city. There's no way around that here.
Vice Mayor, if I may,
Please.
and this is another question for legal, but we still run the similar risk, even if, let's say, for example, we just got done approving the Rotary Club to sell the beer. If they were to sell beer to a minor or too much beer to one individual, there's still some form of liability to the city, correct?
I would agree with that, Council. So anytime you run a special event, whether to the extent it's a city-run event or you have a nonprofit running it, but we are a sponsor, there's going to be some liability. It's on city grounds. If someone serves underage, there's an accident, injury, someone's overserved, probably both the city and the nonprofit are going to get named in a lawsuit. Now, you have to show negligence, and certainly what we want is to make sure that the nonprofit has the insurance, and they have the duty and obligation to defend the city, and where the city is named as additional insured. So we try to minimize our risk. But Mayor, Council, you're absolutely right. Anytime we run a special event, whether we run it ourselves or we bring in a nonprofit, there is always some risk of liability. Our goal is to do our best to minimize it.
Yeah. Thank you, Trish. That's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
So just for clarification on my end, so it is an active organization, but the requirements that we have in our policy are not met. That's why we're entering into this agreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
I have no more questions.
Thank you. Any other questions? Since there's no questions, Trish, do we need to first we need to approve that and then bring back the consent agenda item. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve the agreement between the City of Somerton, Somerton Education, Inc. for the annual Corn Festival to be held November 8th, 2025.
Vice Mayor?
Yes. Go ahead.
I would like to make a motion, but before I make a motion, I just want to be able to be clear and thorough about why my motion is going to be that particular way. The Corn Fest originally it was an event that the city sponsored. As a matter of fact, through conversations with our city manager, he's the one that kind of started it as he filled the position for Parks and Rec director. And so we knew that sustainability wasn't there if the city was going to run this event. So yes, we were fortunate that now the group known as the Somerton Inc. was able to take over that event, and they've grown it from what it first was. And so I know we established a policy on how we wanted things done, and due to some hiccups, that wasn't possible to follow the letter of the policy. But I do need to remind everybody, and not necessarily council, but those that are outside of city administration, is that the council does have the authority to divert from a policy that they created, and the diversion is not really it's not really damaging the intent, because again, this particular Somerton Inc., they donate 100% of the revenue to back to our local students here at our local high school. So they've never kept any money. The only thing that they keep is seed money to keep the event going for the following year. But they've donated thousands and thousands of dollars to our local high school, and that's the intent of this nonprofit. And so with that, I feel comfortable making a motion to approve.
Thank you. And before I entertain a motion, I also wanted to state on the record that I do belong to the Somerton Education Inc., but I have no, how do you call it, Trish? No
Financial gain.
no financial gain or anything where I have the right as vice mayor to be able to entertain a motion or vote for it as well. And
That's
so
correct. And just to be clear, just to be very clear for the record, anyone
Yes.
on council, you know, when you have a financial, a pecuniary interest, normally that triggers a conflict of interest, but there's a
Right.
remote exception for being a part of a nonprofit. So Vice
Right.
Mayor, I do think if you're comfortable voting, you have no legal reason you cannot vote.
Thank you. And I feel very comfortable in voting. Thank you so much for that. So I'm accepting Councilman Villalpando's motion. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Gonzalez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposes?
Nay.
One nay by Councilman Castillo. Motion is passed. We're gonna move back to 6.4, which is the consent agenda. The approval of the Arizona Special Event Liquor License Application for the Somerton Corn Festival submitted by the City of Somerton on behalf of the Somerton Education Inc. for the Corn Festival that will be held on November 8th, 2025, to be held at the intersection of Main Street and State Avenue. Need a motion for that? A motion was made by Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Second, Vice
second by Councilman Galindo. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Nay.
A nay by Councilman Castillo. Motion carries. 4-1. Next is presentations. Thank you. Next presentations, 9.1, presentation and possible council direction regarding the 2025-2023 annexation effort. Saul?
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor, members of council, Saul Albor, Community Development Director. Tonight, staff has for you a brief presentation updating you on the ongoing 2025 annexation effort. Now, allow me to navigate to the agenda item.
Just close that screen up on top. There you go.
Perfect. Vice Mayor and Council, as I mentioned, we have a very brief presentation for you on this 2025 to 2030 annexation effort. Now, this doesn't mean that this annexation would begin in 2025 and end in 2030, but rather continue throughout those years, with the 2030 census coming up being the ultimate target end date for this effort. This is where we are at and what we have. In front of you is a map of our planning area, the Somerton planning area as identified in the 2020 general plan, which encompasses from Avenue A to Avenue H and from County 14th to County 19th Street for a total of 35 square miles. The dark outline in the middle is the actual city limit of the city of Somerton, occupying roughly 20% of the planning area. As a refresher, we can only annex areas inside of our planning area. Areas outside the planning area are not available for annexation to us. The objectives of this annexation effort are very simple. Number one is to grow the Somerton population before the 2030 census, which would increase our share of state revenues received, increases Somerton's visibility for commercial and industrial development, puts us on the map for all these different businesses that we're trying to attract, and also improves our seat at the table, our standing in the region as the more population you have, the more weight your voice carries in the county and the region. Another very important goal of this annexation is to close gaps in the municipal boundaries, meaning we don't have any county islands here, luckily, but we do have gaps where the city limit boundary takes a interesting turn, and it just would make more sense if it was part of the city, but for one reason or another, it's not. This allows for better long-term planning, allows for contiguous right-of-way and utility improvements, and creates distinguishable city boundaries as to this is Somerton, clear and definitive. And lastly, another goal is to respond to citizen demands for annexation, such as the Clarks, who at the call to the public stated their desire to be annexed into the city. By pushing this annexation, we are able to increase the quality of life for future residents, provide better services for future residents, and grow the Somerton identity. There's a lot of Somerton pride, and people in areas that are not yet part of Somerton, but could be and should be. So the way that we have been approaching this so far is to create both a near-term and a long-term strategy. The near-term strategy includes dozens of parcels. There's hundreds of parcels in the Somerton, thousands of parcels in the Somerton planning area. But as for the near term, we're focusing on just a select few, including this County 17th and Avenue C area down here, which is right up to our developed part of the city, as well as a boundary gap here. This is what I'm talking about. This huge part here, city limit does one of these numbers. So if we could close that, that would create a more definitive limit for Somerton. This is all agriculture right now. And also the area by the Somerton Airport and the state land up there would be part of the near-term strategy. The Clark's residence, which is here in the County 15th and Avenue C area, there's about 10 residential areas there. That would also be part of the near-term strategy. Timeline for completion of this annexation, or at least doing all we can, because we're not going to get everything on this map, but we hope to get a substantial piece of it, would be late 2026. So that's near term. The more longer term, big picture strategy focuses on the entire planning area, includes hundreds of parcels. It basically is the big push, how similar to what was done when the Mesa area was annexed about 10 years ago. This would include Collins Manor by County 14th Street, Sunglow Ranchettes, as well as the bulk of the Somerton Mesa, not to include the Orange Grove and Rancho Mesa Verde areas. Estimated completion for this is late 2028. That's what we're shooting for, because the census process starts around 2028. So we need to be ready. If the goal is to have these people in by these properties in by 2030, the annexation would have to be completed by 2028. that's what we're looking at. So the next steps, once we receive direction from council, if you're comfortable with the approach and like what you see, we will begin the outreach efforts, which would include surveys, workshops, community meetings, to begin the formal annexation process, and also begin analyzing the impact to city services, utilities, public safety, facilities, and the like. Are there any questions from council? Any comments? Any questions for the clerks who spoke at the call to the public as well?
Clerk, do you have something to add to your comment?
Do you have anything to add? What is it for?
Members of the council, Vice Mayor, like I mentioned a moment ago, my sister and I would be more than agreeable and more than willing to help in the outreach that I see that Mr. Albor has here as part of your process. I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I'm going to go out on a limb and do it anyway. One of the primary advantages that you can extend to the folks when you approach them to consider annexation is fire service. I never really thought much about it because our particular location along County 15th Street borders a primary canal that always has water and is only shut down once a year for restoration, that sort of thing. Our home, almost to the day, October 6th, 2024, burned to the ground. The canal didn't serve the purpose that I had hoped that it would serve. Now, there's some good folks with Rural Metro that provides the county fire service. But those good folks can't do their job if they're denied good, working, proper equipment. I was very surprised in the fire incident report that it was acknowledged that not one, but two of their engines failed to be able to create a draft out of the canal and get water. Therefore, they were out of water. And had it not been for the Somerton Fire Department, I don't, Chief Hernandez here, there he is. If it had not been for the Somerton Fire Department, San Luis Fire Department, and the City of Yuma Fire Department, the home was a total loss, but we at least managed to save the garage. Now, as I ramble on here with that part, it's one thing to have folks that can't do the job. They could do the job with proper equipment. It's one thing for folks to send ill working equipment that doesn't do the job, but it's another thing subsequent to that to send you a bill for $33,375. Now, had the equipment functioned, had the equipment worked, I suppose that would be something else altogether again. But my sister and I much prefer Chief Hernandez and his crew. They were excellent, and we certainly appreciate it. And San Luis and the City of Yuma also. So I think that would be a primary selling point, a primary feature that you could extend to the folks, because we always think it'll never happen to me. I certainly didn't think in my 84 years that it would happen to me, but it certainly did. Now, I know that would require some infrastructure for you folks to bring these people in, because all the other areas that Mr. Albor mentioned to you, they don't have access to canal water. And so it would probably require some additional tankers, whatever, that sort of thing. Because it'll be quite some time before you're in a financial position, I'm sure, to be able to extend water to all of these areas that you're looking at. Certainly it won't happen in my lifetime. And certainly one of the other questions folks are going to ask in addition to water is what about sewer? Those kind of things. That's not cheap. That's expensive. But still, in the absence of those things, there's still a tremendous advantage in being annexed and having your property adequately protected.
Thank you.
Is that yours or mine?
Any questions for Saul? Saul, you mentioned that the public safety would be obviously a benefit as Mr. Clark has mentioned, but doesn't our public safety still report and assist there? Like the police, do they respond to calls there or no?
Vice Mayor, our public safety responds to pretty much everywhere within the planning area due to mutual aid. But the difference here would be, such as in Mr. Clark's case, that they wouldn't get a bill for the services provided.
Yeah, of course. Okay,
If they were part of the city.
thank you. Any other questions? Luis, are you looking for direction?
Correct. At this point, we are asking for direction to proceed with the annexation. If you're okay with the near term and the long term strategy, we will proceed as presented. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this is an ongoing effort. It doesn't mean that we're going to end in 2030. And as properties come to the city seeking to be annexed, we will make those a priority. That's part of the near term strategy as well.
Vice Mayor, if I may?
Please.
And just Vice Mayor and council members, just to let you know also, we're working on part of the retreat will be to revisit this too, and also have a discussion about the process moving forward, where it's at, and what other things might come up that we want to address. You know, annexation is good, but it needs to be done properly and smart. And it does impact our public safety and infrastructure and services. So we want to make sure as Somerton grows, which we want it to grow, but we're growing in a way that it's not a burden on our local residents and our community, but also welcoming the new residents and their communities.
So, Council?
I say move. My suggestion or my input is to move forward as so presented.
Anybody else?
I mean, I'd say I would agree. I mean, move forward with it, and I mean, you'll be monitoring everything. I mean, and adjust as things come up. Yes. So
I agree.
Very
I
good.
agree. Let's move forward and you know, obviously, yes, I've always had an issue where, you know, Somerton, as we're growing, but we need to grow along with public safety needs to grow along with our dreams and our goals, right? And so we want to make sure that it's in conjunction with our growth, that public safety grows along with it and other departments to be able to service the community that's going to be annexed to ours. So I said, let's move forward.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you,
you.
Council.
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
time.
Moving on to 9.2, presentation and council review of final design plans for the West Somerton Community Park Pond and Pump Since.
Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council, James Jones, Parks and Rec. The city in Somerton engaged with Last Architect and J2 Engineering and Environmental Design to design the future West Somerton Community Park Pond as part of the West Somerton Community Park, which will serve as the primary irrigation source for the Somerton High School. Paracone Park and the surrounding park property. J2 environmental study is now completed and finalized 100% design plans for the project. At this stage, staff is requesting J2 to present the key components to City Council for review and discussion. Right now we have some representatives from J2 on Zoom and I'll work through the presentation with them.
Thank you.
Shane, are you there?
I am. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. It's a pleasure to be able to bring you up to speed about where we sit in terms of the pond final design. Let's go to the next slide here. So what we've got is we are going to connect with the Yuma County Water Users Association canal from the north part of the site and feed it into the reservoir. So that's one of the primary components of this pond design. And then we have the pond and pump house itself. And that is essentially the lake reservoir or the pond reservoir that holds all the water that will need to be used for the school, Paracone Park, and the park site that was just mentioned. This pond is designed precisely to have enough water to be able to water it even in the hottest months of the year. And so the pump house itself is designed to be able to feed the school, feed Paracone Park, and the park itself. And as was mentioned, the design is 100% complete. And that means what you saw in the West Somerton Master Plan concept fly-through, of which we will show you here, this is what your lake is going to look like. I will let you know that the first phase of this that we've designed is for the lake itself and for the pump house. So all of the surrounding area, it'd be considered future development. I want to make you aware that the lake itself or the pond itself will be placed in an area that is going to be mass graded and will have seating for erosion control. So all of what you see here in terms of amenities would be future development. And that's what I've got for you guys at this point. You can take a look at the 3D fly through and open it up for any questions where we're at.
Any questions or comments,
I have a comment.
please?
Can you share this video with us? Because I don't think I saw it in the presentation.
If I may, Vice Mayor? We did have this video at beginning. This is about a year ago. And it does show, and of course, it's an amazing looking park, and that's our goal towards it. But just to be clear, we are focusing, and administration is working with finance to present some options for mayor and council moving forward on the pond and the pump house to get that be the first phase. But we're also looking at the shelter/community center and trying to finalize the design for the rest of it to potentially go out for funding to provide the community what you see here. So this is a first phase of many to work towards this goal that you see on this video. But we will provide some funding options. We're working on putting that together, and this will be part of the retreat, one of the topics for discussion. But there is other projects too that we'll be discussing, but this will be one of them.
What's the goal? What year? 2040? I mean, this is beautiful and, just.
Vice Mayor, again, it's all in the funding, but realistically, yeah, it's probably about a 10-year, 12-year goal in working towards this and making this come to fruition. Of course, it looks great, right? If we had $100 million, we could get started on it.
The price?
Just currently, well, I don't know if Shane, James, you could price wise. Shane, the cost estimate for the pond and the pump house currently?
So the pond and the pump house, we did a cost estimate a little over a year ago. And at 90%, and I'm going from memory here, and that'll get me in all kinds of trouble, but I believe it was somewhere in the high $5 to low $6 million range for basically the point of connection from the Yuma water users to the lake itself, and then the pump house, and then the distribution pump system to the school and Paracone Park and to the park itself.
And the whole thing?
So James, maybe you want to handle that, but I can say just from a general perspective, it depends on your level of design detail that you want to go through with that.
If I recall correctly, I think we were going to focus on the Olympic pool. Thank you so much. The beautiful design, and I'm assuming, this is just for review, for council review, and for us to see what our vision is when we first tried to design it and figure out what it would look like. I thought the pond was going to be much smaller than what it is that I see on this video, but it looks beautiful, but I go for the Olympic pool to be the priority.
Vice Mayor, if I may?
Please.
Shane, you've worked on various parks of this size throughout, the Phoenix area and around Arizona. Not to give a sticker shock, but could you provide them kind of an idea of some of the parks that you have seen with these amenities and a price range?
Yeah, I would say you would probably on the low end be around 45 million on up north to 100 million, somewhere in there, all built, all in. And the community center itself is going to be your biggest variable because it just depends on what kind of amenities within your community center you want. And the other big ticket item obviously is the pool area. Do you want big play areas? Do you want water slides? All of these types of things will vary the cost, right? So, if you want to go more of a general offering to your public, then you'd probably be in the low 40s on up north of 100.
Just wanted to share that with you. But again, this is not an impossible thing to reach. We are gonna, that is our goal to work towards.
And the playground was going to be designed for, to be an inclusion playground, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, we, for almost all the playgrounds we design at this point, inclusivity is one of the top goals that we have. I don't think there's a playground that we work on anymore in terms of design that does not have that as a key component.
Great, thank you. Any other questions?
I feel like, it's $100 million a lot, but we started 15 years ago. I remember when we bought the land, that was the main purpose when we bought the land, that we wanted 30 acres for the park. And it's been, 15 years? And, maybe it'll take us 10, 12 more years to get it, but I guess the city wants this, the staff is working, and it's gonna be a reality sooner or later, but it's closer than it used to be before. Before, we didn't have no land. We didn't even think about this, so I think we're a step closer, and it's beautiful, and I guess the community deserve it. And I think I talked to certain people 10, 12 years ago about this, and they said, we're willing to help you promote, we're willing to, do whatever so the community, but we need the money, but it's something to look forward. I think we should have this on mind every year, the retreat, something to look forward, so we can.
And I think we also discussed that we will bring in the high school, right? Because they're gonna benefit from the pond.
Vice Mayor, if I may, the high school will, we are currently working on that agreement with them, but also there might be opportunities in the future with the pool, the municipal pool with partnering. This is going to be partnerships. This is going to be collaborations. This is going to be looking at federal funding, state, just different options. But I think you see this park, and I think this would be a great thing for Somerton. So that's our goal, to continue that and work towards that. Like Councilman Galindo said, it could be 100 million, but that's really, that's doable, I think.
I'm sure there's grants out there that we can benefit from. Thank you so much, James. Moving on to 10, summary of current events.
Yes, we have, I'm sorry, I got that. Terry Trujillo, HR.
That's it.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and council members. Tori Trujillo, Human Resources Manager. I would just like you to know that Human Resources will be attending the AWC Job Fair tomorrow, October 8th from 7:30 to noon. We will be sharing information about our open police officer position as well as current job opportunities. We will also be having a winter wellness fair. HR will be hosting that winter wellness fair on October 22nd from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we would like to extend an invitation to mayor, vice mayor, and council members to attend. It will be at the Somerton Community Center. The event is open to all employees and their family members. Through our health insurance provider, EMI, flu shots and biometric screenings will be provided on site. Also, we have employee appreciation dinner. Please save the date. The employee appreciation dinner is scheduled for Friday, December 12th, 2025.
All right. We're done.
Invitations will be sent out in mid-November for RSVP. Thank you.
Thank you.
James Jones, Parks and Rec.
James Jones, Parks and Rec. Thank you, Vice Mayor and Council, for attending the Art Festival. I do want to state that next week we do have the UTV Festival. We currently have 90 UTVs registered and paid for, so it's getting larger. That's what we want. Also want to invite Council to the Senior Center next Wednesday, October 15th, from 10 to 12 for their annual birthday lunch. And I want to also state to the council, so they know, we are beginning our reed seed process for the Parks and Rec. So we're going to do Council Park and Joe Munoz Field and JCC Field this week. We also this year are going to do the district retentions. So you'll see kind of the grass turning brown. That's by design. We're going to reseed them with the winter rye and make sure everything's green throughout the winter this year. Thank you.
When are you guys doing that? This week? When are you guys doing the reseeding?
So we're doing Council Park and Joe Munoz and JCC this week.
This week?
Yeah.
We're expecting some rain and everything. Is that going to affect?
That's perfect. What we do is we mow the grass really short, and then we put grass seed, and then we water it. So that's actually going to help the process.
I'm not doing mine after the rain.
Vice Mayor, that's all we have.
Thank you. Councilman Villalpando.
I don't have anything, Vice Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Just a reminder that we have our monthly vaccine clinic next Thursday from 3 to 6 at the Cultural Center.
Thank you. Councilman Castillo.
I have nothing.
Thank you. Councilman Galindo.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Thank you. I attended the arts event this past week, and it was really well attended. Thank you very much, James, and your team. Everyone that was there. It was a great event. A lot of the community was there. The schools participated, so please thank them in our behalf. It's really great to see how our schools are getting involved, and that brings the parents as well too. But thank you for all the organizations that were there. The senior centers had a lot of fun, and Councilwoman and Gonzalez and I were there. So thank you so much for all the hard work. Also, I attended the check presentation from Firehouse Subs to our Somerton Cocopa Fire Department. They received a great amount of $19,000 or so. I think it's going to be a great help. And thank you so much, Chief, for inviting us and for us to be able to be there to witness such a great grant funded that you got for your department. So thank you so much for inviting us. I know we're going to continue with our personnel handbook, right? We still have a few more items to address, but I think we're coming along and we're almost done after I don't know how long. But it was great to participate and be able to give an input on the future of our personnel handbook. So thank you so much for including us as well. With that said, anybody else have anything else to say? Meeting's adjourned, 8:06.